And hello. Um, Good morning, everyone who is watching, all four of you. Thank you for being here. It's pretty exciting. Um, and yeah, we are back. This is Thursday. For those who are not aware of what day it is, I really hope that you can find better ways to know what day it is. That's a little awkward and weird if you don't know. But we are here. This is a now brand new spanking day. For those who practice any gratitude or meditation practices, it is mutually beneficial for everybody, including yourself, to just, be in this moment because we're going to be here for a while. So it's not anything that I'm happy about, but that's just kind of what's going to go down. Tomorrow, though, I am going to actually potentially take a break. Yes, I'm thinking that this should just be a Monday through Thursday situation. Tomorrow, I'm going to go upstate and really be outside. I am taking people to farm, the business that I'm part of. In case y'all didn't know, yes, I am part of a farm and a CBD business. We pretty much operate within Berkshires and upstate New York. And we are going to be doing like a small gathering of people that are pretty amazing in my life, one being one of my best friends, who I brought into the cannabis business alongside me most recently, which is pretty awesome to be able to do that. But yes, we are going to the effing farm. We need a break. Things are wild, as you already know. Just want to show y'all that this is a real thing. Yes, this is it's part of the farm. This is the barn that is all part of the farm. But yes, Treacle Farms is in upstate New York. It is literally 3 to 4 hours away if you drive like me, which, whatever. I don't want to be judged. I drive the way that I drive, but yeah, like we have farmland. Like we literally are going to go and look at all of the beautiful, lovely hemp plants that are pretty much all over the place. I mean, this is real. Like it's full out farmland. Like, look at this. It's literally just like we're farming. So in case you ever want to come by, we're going to have a couple of visitor days scheduled out. Might be able to see what I can do, make a plan here or there. But yeah, I'm going to the farm. And it's going to be great to be able to take some people that I know and I like with me. And hopefully they don't act up or do anything ridiculous. But yes, we're growing the cannabis hemp plant up there, along with other flowers and herbs and such. So it's going to be good to get away for almost 3 days and just to like breathe. So yeah, if anyone is interested in coming to visit, we're going to have visits starting the week after next. Next week, we have a special visit for press folks. So if you are cool and you are in the press, meaning you're not trying to pitch a story, you already got a place where it can go, you can hit me up personally, and that'd be awesome. But we already started sending out our invites today to folks. So that'll be interesting. But yes, this land is your land, blah, 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 blah. This land is our land. But, I don't want to get too militant too early. But let's get started. I'm putting on my glasses because this is going to be a real conversation. My guest is going to be Megan, and I will be able to tell you more about her when she pops up and shows up on time into the screen. But I want to get right into moments of gratitude. And yes, check out the scroll. Information's there. Donate. My light bill is going to be sky high because of the air conditioner that I've ran almost every day. If my grandmother was living, I would have got popped. Definitely. So please know that I'm deathly afraid of August. Super afraid of what that bill is going to look like. But collective communities. What is the bit of a collective community? Let's talk about it. I'm gracious to be able to talk to people about what that means. What a collective community means is talking about how are you allowing people in your circle that are aligned with the progression of self, the progression of your health, progression of any of the things that require you to be your best self and promote your best self. I think that this is going to be very crucial, and it's very connected to the conversation that I'm going to have today. It's going to be a conversation based off the fact that, you know, community and the ideas of communes and the idea of people being just surrounded by positive energy is going to be extremely crucial, especially given a couple of the news bites I have to share today, and just a couple of the conversations around what we'll be talking about, which is going to be focused on not only just self-preservation, but why the fuck are we not taking this shit seriously with what's happening? Because this shit is crazy. And so, you know, we're going to have that conversation. I'm going to start here, though, with this news update. So if y'all don't know what this means, you know, there's an education barrier given what's going on. I would love to encourage you to go to the source that I recommend for news that's in this country. And I'm going to just pull up NPR. They also have a 4-minute listen you could do if you don't feel like reading, which you should read. But, you know, just so you know, the gross domestic product, is the GDP, is the measure of, you know, economic activity. It shrank to pretty much 33%. And, you know, it is the worst decline during the Great Recession. And I just want to kind of like be a little honest here. Like this graph ain't cool. Just, I mean, look at this. And there were recession periods earlier than that. There are a lot of things that kind of like highlight what goes on. So, you know, I strongly encourage everyone to take a look at this story. But I'm going to tell you what this means in Mary Pryor speak as well. And I can't wait till Megan hops on, because she's going to be able to talk about a couple of things related to her feelings with this. She is a white woman that I like. I have about 10 that I keep around. So, you know, we don't, there's some people out there that aren't that crazy. And if you have to like check them on their privilege, they're open, they'll learn, they'll fit. We all have to learn ourselves around this stuff. But y'all, like the economy is in recession. Like we're not in a recession. I don't know why we keep using these words that are not factual and honest and realistic and very, very like real upon what's going on. But we are in an economic depression. And the way that things work in depressions is that it doesn't get better like 6 months later or gets better 1 year later. It actually drops. So I'm going to encourage you to definitely do what you need to do to kind of learn around that and to, you know, shape yourself up in a way that will give you a bit more power to understand like what it's like. But there are a lot of things to understand when it comes to how this grossly affects people that are hoping for the economy to shift, people that are trying to figure out what's going to happen. And that doesn't mean that there aren't jobs out there, but there are jobs in different sectors that you may or may not already understand or get. I think for me, what's been a really, really big blessing is that I took COVID seriously and just made investments into understanding and teaming up and communing with friends that understood or wanted to progress as far as making content, wanted to progress and go forward in understanding herbalism, understanding more about cannabis, understanding more about dynamic services that can be provided from online perspectives. I am part of 3 online learning situations that are based on database development, on focused on just like overall like design and content strategy and data analysis. I'm going to a data analysis class at least once a week. So with that being said, I'd love to understand a couple of things to this story, which is also on NPR, which covers farming. And I know I've brought this up in previous conversations before about the power of going back to the land, right? And as people that are melanated, there's a lot that can be said as to how that can greatly benefit and improve so many things. But investors are putting their money into farming. So let's understand the investor mindset, right? So investors usually hedge their bets on future tech or future items that are part of a decline, right? Or part of the fact that due to economic decline, they're going into other fields, into other shifting. Farming, learning how to grow, considering investment into the land, considering all of these is a really fucking good idea right now. And it's a really good idea because this is going to be a level of dependency, not only on being able to have access to food, but access to food for yourself. I am very glad that I'm in this industry that I'm in now. If you would have told me in 2017 that I would be in the cannabis hemp farming product, selling marketing business, I would have told you you're a liar. Especially coming from advertising and media and tech and always having to do the second job of talking about how white people don't let black folks talk about things in advertising. But, like cannabis alone has a 40% increase of use this year. And there are more jobs in demand in cannabis that are available than in computer science. So you can look this all up on your own. But y'all, like, I do not have a good feeling about what the next few months have ahead of us. And I'm not going to lie, I don't want to be doom and gloom, but there are ways to operate within this new economy that we have to take seriously. And we're going from gig economy to hustle economy. We're going from the idea and the concept of, I can just do this on the side or do that on the side or do Uber on the side or like do a restaurant on the side. You might need to be teaching people how to do it yourself. I've been in several classes where I learned how to braid hair. I've been in several classes where I've learned how to make certain, there are things out there where people are turning their gig into a hustle and creating content from that. So there's been a lot of amazing online conferences that I've been a part of, that I've reviewed, that somewhat go into this, but I'm not interested in being a part of anything that's not going to talk about the transition and the pivot that's needed to sustain this depression, and to grow and to work with communities and work with people that get it. So I'm going to get right to our guest. Megan comes from the advertising space. She's also been a hustler. She was like a flight stewardess. Like, she's done it all. She's in Chicagoland, which you all know is in Illinois. And she has been very vocal in gathering people together, mostly women, and talking about opportunities within the space. First, her community Girls Day was a place to share issues that regarding where the workspace or dealing with patriarchal systems, also jobs. But now the conversation's evolved into, what are people doing to talk about diversity and inclusion? And personally, I feel like we are losing that battle too, because the time is getting really, 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 really short So, I hope that everyone is very aware that as we talk about this, we really have to be honest about, is this working? And I kind of feel like this, which is the title, is the diversity and inclusion conversation dying? And so I hope that everyone is here for this chat, because although it feels like things are progressing, this isn't realistic, just to be honest with you. So Megan, I'm going to add you right on in. Welcome.
Good morning, Mary.
Good morning. Now, before y'all say, like, why you got this white woman here talking about diversity and inclusion? Because Megan is very aware and is very understands that within this space, like, there is an onus that white people have to have, because diversity and inclusion is part of something that they have had a weak spot on acknowledging and allowing into corporate structures, right? So, I'd love for you to talk more about, what you do, and even how the conversation has evolved in Girls' Day, and even how you as a white woman have to say to other white women, maybe you shouldn't be trying to take all these diversity jobs. You're a white woman, like, this isn't about you. So please go into, please.
Okay, hi, Mary. Yeah, it's hard, I mean, it's easy to say, oh, but we've come so far, I don't know if I've really seen a ton of that. I mean, the best thing I think I've seen is spaces for Black women especially, but for non-white women, or for non-white people, to be able to finally talk about this in places where people like me can, watch and learn and listen, hopefully. But no, I think the biggest hurdle for me in Girls' Day is I think still getting white people to, or white women especially, to accept their privilege and understand, the privilege that we have.
Why do you feel like white women are not getting this? Because for me as a Black woman, and you and I have had real conversations offline, I've had to get it from jump, right? Like, we're talking 38 years of understanding whiteness. What is the block? Like, and I know I know for a fact you've talked to other white women to be like, girl, no, that's not it. So can you just explain the white woman to me?
I'm still trying to figure this out.
Explain the white women. Yes, we need this.
I think that for so many people, for white women that I think really get it, it's just that thing of, once you see it, you can't unsee it. So once you see it, if you're complicit, to me, that's really, the insidiousness of it. I mean, so many of us aren't getting it till just now. So many of us have never, marched ever before, Trump was in office. So many of us have never, made the commitment to support Black-owned businesses. It goes from, what you say to what you do, and you have to just focus on action. And I think with white women, for as bad as we bitch, it's not as bad as being a Black woman in advertising. So I just think it's up to everyone to do it. And so many white women don't think we have any power. I went through that. I didn't think I had any power. I didn't think I understood my privilege, but it's like, but what am I going to do about it? I'm a freelance copywriter who no one gives a shit what I say, but then when I figured out Girls' Day, then all of a sudden I did have a platform. So what are you going to do with it now? So it's just that process of figuring out how to actually put your words and thoughts of who you imagine you are into the actions, so you are actually not that person. Do you know what I'm saying? That's kind of rough. So it's all about action.
So now, with the, and I like to call this a trend that happens in my lifetime all the time. There's always a summertime uptick of public viewable lynchings and deaths of Black bodies. It's been like that before Trayvon. It's been like that before camera phones recorded anything. It's been like that for a minute. I can distinctively recall the murder of Maurice Green by Detroit white Detroit police officers back in the 90s, and how, as a young person, I was very, very aware of how effed up that whole entire situation was. And it was also one of the major cases that put current prosecutor Kim Worthy, who definitely needs to be out, unfortunately, back home in Detroit. But it was the first case that she was part of that elevated her. And, you know, like, even then, the biggest fear around why they did the verdicts and why they did the case the way they did it was in fear of Black people rioting in Detroit. Was justice really served? No, not really. This has been going on forever. You know, it's not new. So, you know, for a lot of white women in your world, I feel like I'm using to explain white people. I hope you know that I do that all the time.
Well,
I'll be like, Megan got to explain.
What white people think is that,
like, yeah. So what, on your level, it's been like another wake up call within a lot of communities. Like, how do you explain, hey, like, this has been here, and this is part of the issue of, like, racism and systemic issues within racism are still happening. We're ignoring it because we do not feel it, because we don't have to feel it, because we've been taught not to think about it because we're not Black. How are you breaking that down for people?
Being uncomfortable, saying the words. In a place like Girls' Day, I mean, we all did this together, but it's like, okay, I created a spot where people, turns out, will listen to me sometimes. So you just have to say the words. And I've kind of envisioned Girls' Day too as a place where we could practice. Okay, how do we talk about this? Because it kind of started with me too. You know, when people first started sharing stories about what's happening at work. Because Girls' Day is all focused for me around advertising, because I don't have kids, so it's my way affecting my, you know, community. So I figured, here's where we can have the conversations. How do you ask? How do you ask a Black person, how can I help you at work? What am I not seeing at work? Like I say every time someone says, this happened like a year and a half ago, after talking about it for, you know, 4 years, a friend emailed me to say, Megan, my boss touched my hair today. Cut her hair. You know, and just in the last year, after we've been talking about, please don't touch Black women's hair. It's not a compliment. It's not this. It's not, when we talk about our red hair or our curly hair woes, it's not on the same level. So it's like just a place for, maybe you haven't had that conversation with your friends. So here's maybe where you can have that conversation and go, okay, I don't know how to say this. I said this is fucked up, but how do, you know, it's just somewhere to practice, I figured.
Do you feel that fragility and given, like, protection around women, right? So you and I have seen the same thing where, like, you know, like, whenever there's a protest or whenever there's an action, I always, as a protest trainer, will walk up to white people and say, hey, if you're here, can you be an ally and step to the front? Hey, while you're here, I need you to be a fence, because the value on the white body is higher than, it's okay, you got a dog. No worries.
I just threw a at her in the other room.
the value behind the white aesthetic is far more seen as greater, especially white womanhood, than like bodies that are, like, you know, Black, Indigenous, Latinx, Pakistani, Middle East. It like there's so many, Asian, all of that.
Well, yeah. Go ahead. What was the question about?
Well, I asked that when it comes to diversity and inclusion, how was that effect? Is that effect finally happening now? Because to me, I don't think it is.
No, I think that, like, a lot of times in advertising, you know, it's a trend that we'll talk about and stuff. And it's very cool to put that, you know, in your bio, that, you know, and stuff, that your Black Lives Matter and blah, blah, you know. But if this hasn't shown us, you know, I mean, now like we need more examples, but it's like this summer, I mean, this last 6 months, if this doesn't show the inequality, like, I don't get what you're not seeing, like, sometimes. But as far as fragility goes, oh yeah, I mean, I grew up, my mom was one of those women who would get pulled over by a cop and yell at him. She was a teacher who may or may not have gotten behind the wheel once or twice tipsy, and her, you know, answer, if she got pulled over by the local cop, who we all went to school with his kids anyway, it wasn't a huge town, and she'd yell at him, and I was mortified. But it wasn't the mortification of, her white privilege. It was just my teenage shit, but now I grew up in that kind of bubble thinking that I could yell at a cop. I don't know one of my black friends who would ever say, yeah, that time I yelled at that cop, that was hilarious. That just doesn't, it's just being in a different world. So as a white woman, if you're, in a position and you want to help and you think, it's not, nothing's going to happen to you because you're white. We are in little different times. If you're on a line, you better be ready, and better be ready to ask the organizers where they need you. They might not want you up in the front line. They might want you helping with the med tech. They might want you holding these signs over here. They might want you in this section to watch these camera people and let them know what's going. I mean, there's a million things like that. And that wall of women, thing in Portland, that was cool and everything. Like the next day, someone tried to do Wall of Women Chicago, and it was a fucking mess. It was a Facebook group where white women were fighting about what, how to do it. No one knew what they were. No one was trained in any kind of protest. And they literally shut down, a non-white woman who was legit one of, the Chicago's legit protesters, and muted her because they didn't understand, And so it's a lot of times what you see with white women is all sorts of good intent that fucking is chaos, because we haven't been doing this for our entire lives, like a lot of our black friends. So the idea that you're just going to show up and change something isn't really what we need right now. If you want to maybe follow Black Lives Matter in your town, every town has a Black Lives Matter. Every town has, races, different, groups right now. Follow them. They will tell you. That's what I always say. If you want to know how to help Black people or help Black Lives Matter, follow Black Lives Matter, and they will tell you. There are already leaders in your community that you've never met. So that's my thing about fragility and white women. We just have to learn to, shut up and listen and do what, if you really want to help, just do what they ask you to do.
So I'm trying to figure this out within cannabis, and I'm struggling, and it's hard. And back when we were even doing Have Her Back, I would be the main one on those panels being like, white women need to get their shit together. Like, this is important, and it's not on me. And you and Carolyn, I would be like, yeah! But there'd be moments where I literally don't know, like in advertising, outside looking in, right? And I'm still an advertiser, I'm still a marketer, but outside looking in, and I've been on phone calls with colleagues in the space that are white and all that, and I'm really excited for 600 and Rising and all the stuff that's been, occurring when it comes to people that have been trying to advocate for this, but I don't see it happening. And at the same time, I see a lot of businesses that are usually clients now creating their own in-house agencies because they can't afford agencies anymore. So agencies have their own issue going on, and there's still inequities for just women in general and men, taking race out of the picture in terms of like being like on boards and being a part of C-suites and being a part of decision making and sexual harassment and all of that stuff, right? Like,
yep.
given you an advertising person, what's realistic here and what's not? Like, let's be honest. Like, what are the realities that people have to get ready for, given this economic downturn and given just like what is shifting in this? I would love for you to dive in on that, because you are, to me, an expert. Also, your bangs are popping. I'm very proud of you.
Thanks. I got up and, for you.
I see it. Like, you really, and you got like some highlights. You got some highlights. That's new.
And I have a pop of red, because I know you hate when I
got some highlights recently. You went out. You went out and did that. It's okay. You went out and went somewhere and got your hair did.
I wish I'm so overdue. But yeah, I did my silver stripe last night for you. But I don't know. I always feel kind of weird when people ask me about how you're, how to kick ass in advertising, because half the time, like, I've been hanging on by my nails, like a 54-year-old copywriter, surprisingly, is not on the minds of most people of who they want to hire right now. I would say, if I was Black, though, if you're a Black woman, I would say take advantage of every fucking, if you want to be in advertising, take advantage of this, you know, trend, if you want to call it that. Find your positions, get in where you want to, and I hate saying this, and then find, you know, your people that we can help from the inside in terms of inclusion. But I think right now, you know, if I was a Black woman, I would, you know, talk to everyone I fucking knew in advertising if I wanted to get in there and just try to get as many interviews I want, because, you know, everyone wants to hire excellent people right now, and I just know a ton of excellent people. So I would ride that, and then the inclusion part is always where it kind of stops, you know, right now. But we're still trying, is my point. We can't stop trying. And I think more white women are getting used to the language now and learning for what to look for what, you know, the microaggressions that might happen that maybe I would have like glossed over maybe 7 years ago. But now I know when I hear that that's not right, and you just over talked her, you know, the whole, we're getting used to like seeing it now, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Does that make sense?
No, it does. I think that the other thing that I always just try to encourage white people to do is to do your own work, right? Like, it's not my job to make you feel better about whiteness and to help you understand that that whiteness has fucked up a lot of stuff, right? I remember like months ago, I was getting white people that were like just texting me like, "Hey, do you need anything?"
Yeah, I needed a fat job. You got one?
I need y'all to like not vote Trump in. How about that? Because right now, y'all about to do that. And I've been saying this in every show. I am 1000% sure that he's going to win again, just given the amount of voter fraud and the amount, all items that are occurring. Even for the primary in New York, where I'm currently at, I applied for an absentee ballot. I didn't get it. I applied for an absentee ballot for this upcoming election. And if it's not here by October 1st, then I guess I'm not going to get it. That is too fucking bad. That sucks, right?
Yeah.
What are we really trying to say here? Because we have two things happening, and I'm glad Chris brought this up. Like, people want to diversify, but there's a hiring freeze because, again, agencies are, you know, companies like, I remember Pepperidge Farm did an in-house agency. P&G went straight to by doing their own media buys. And usually, and for people who don't know how advertising work, I'd love to do that insight. Megan, I'm going to have you add on to that as well. So in advertising, there are media brands and clients usually go through agencies for a series of services. It could be creative. It can be out of home budgeting. It could be doing media buys. It could be like doing tech development. It can be experiential, which we all know experiential wise is like a problem. It could be, there are agencies that do different things. Like, you know, it could be agencies used to run tech events. Agencies like put together advertising campaigns, marketing campaigns, things of that nature. I was part of an advertising campaign for I May Destroy You, which is Michaela Cozen's show on HBO, not HBM, HBO. And I was part of the influencer network, and it was creative and all of that. That was designed by Verb, which is a Black female-ran agency, by the way. But, you know, stuff like that, right? So the hiring freeze, on top of we need to have more diversity, on top of clients now creating their own in-house items and teams to avoid agencies, means that people won't get jobs if clients are not trying to ask for RFPs, which is requests for proposals, or trying to fill out SOWs. That is a big problem. So the agency world in itself, and if you were around for 2008 and what happened there, again, the gross domestic product is decreased by 33%. Agencies are not making money right now. And if they have like AORs, which is agency of records for larger brands and companies, even they're reevaluating budgets, right? So I just want people to kind of understand what that is, because people are like, yeah, there's diversity, but yes, Chris Cooler is like a white man who I loved. He and I worked together at Vayner. He gets that, which is why that question was brought up. So Megan, I'm going to add you back. I just wanted to give people an outline of states of the industry, and when it comes to people talking about yeah, there's diversity. We want to do more, but it's like, wait, you ain't got no jobs because you ain't got no clients paying you because, wait, what's going on? Is there anything that I missed in that?
No. But I think that there's always client side too. We talk about that a lot. You know,
Right.
there's still content that needs to be made. So I know that when I first started freelancing, you know, I was pretty junior anyway. So yeah, I just kind of stuck with the agencies in town that I knew. And so you learn, you know, you meet clients, and now agency side client side is a way, I think, bigger thing than it was 10 years ago in '08, right? Even '08, like you could work for some client side, but you know, it was made like the big brands would have them, but not like every little, you know, every brand. But sorry, yeah, I don't know what to say about that because I think the agency model is messed up. But we've been talking about that ever since I got into advertising, so I'm not sure how to change that. You know, other than the like the free work that agencies do it's nuts to me,
Yeah,
and I think
that RFP BS, and just so giving more context, when you do a response to an RFP, you might like take people out to dinner. You might do a large deck where you have everybody like billing hours, hoping that they're going to get this. So you have like this deck that's being made. You ask the creative team to make it. Then the account team is like buttering up the client and like taking them to like expensive restaurants, which are no longer in business right now. And
then like the worker bees, we're doing the all-nighters and working and
right,
working and working.
all-nighters, we go to their office and then everybody's like doing that. And then, you know, if you're back, you turn on your white voice. Again, I want to show my white voice. Hi, I'm really excited to be here. My name's Mary. I'm going to be the account supervisor on future business for you. And, you know, our team, we're really, really excited. There's so much diversity here. I know that I'm the only Black person in this entire room, while a man is going to give you the presentation to talk about how we're going to help you reach more Black people. As all the white team here that's part on the client side are going to use me pretty much for information the entire time because I'm the only white person in the office. But we're really excited, and we totally feel that synergetically we're going to really make a big difference in terms of helping you understand the multicultural market. It's great.
Diversity is very important to us and part of our part of our brand. It's the same shit all the time, but just like all that free work too. And like, you know, everyone's been in the kind of like pitch where, you know, we're selling them this brand. We've done 4 different blowouts of this different area. And we know you just want to maybe do one print ad right now, but here's what it would look on TV. And here's what it would look on digital. And here's what a radio campaign could look like. And this and this, it's like, and we're doing all this. And they're like, oh, awesome. And we're going to buy that one banner ad. That'd be great. So I don't get how the people who are supposed to understand this think that this is a good thing. And I think we've just conditioned our clients to expect that. You know, 24-hour turnarounds happen daily. It's not like this, you know, it happens once in a while. We've conditioned them that we never say no to our clients. You know, when have you ever blown a deadline? When have you ever shown up to a client and say, you know, it's just crazy last night and things are nuts and you know how it is. And so we have a few ideas, but not really, you know, we'll talk about them later. No, it's a full out show every time, you know? So I just don't understand how that works and how we get out of that rut now, you know?
Yeah, it's real. I mean, you know, there's a lot that can be said on this. I am, you know, we don't have all the answers here. I know we've talked about what the answers need to really be. And Arlene, my girl, who definitely is in advertising, like she said, you know, I know clients who have pushed back on agency diversity like this, and they just brought in a consultant. Yep. Can you explain like that? Because people don't understand what that really, really means.
Me? Can I explain? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm a freelancer, you know, which consultant, you know, and a lot of times, you know, agencies use us all the time, especially for print or for, you know, a pitch, or especially, you know, when there's like a special, maybe it's like, you know, and all of a sudden all the women freelancers in town are booked. You know, it's the same thing that happens with Black people. You know, if they want to put out, the optics are important, you know, so let's show them what our agency looks like. It's not your agency, and you might not even see this person again once you buy the work for them, because they had a job to do, and your job was to show the diversity. So I mean, we know know what it is going in, and we say this sucks, and then we need the fucking money, right? We need it.
Right. We need the money. We need the check. We're kind of like, oh, we're
be more exposure. Now they're going to know about me, and they're going to hire me after I help them win this pitch, right?
no, they're not.
That was my first mistake.
Yeah. That's the heartbreak that comes into it.
But
I know everybody's like, is there anything good about working in advertising? And I'm like,
I met you. That's what.
That's true. I met you too, girl.
I forced you to be my friend, like I usually do. I
have a pattern of people being like, "You're going to be my friend," and I'm like, what's your name?
You don't know me, Mary, but we're best friends now. So, and also, can I advice about pot? Like every time I'm with you, someone comes up. You're the one I need to talk to about this. No, what should I smoke? I just die.
I do be knowing. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. It sucks, like they never hire you, and it sucks that we just really, really, this problem is so deep and systemic. It's really deep, and it sucks, and I wish that I could leave this item telling people, some amazing things, but I can't. So we're gonna put a pin in this.
I have one thing that I'll
go
say.
ahead.
I'm not shutting up. I mean, what am I gonna shut up now? I have nothing to lose at this point, so I'm not stopping. So that's it. That's my positivity. I'll keep awkwardly trying to help.
I appreciate you even saying that, but I am going to get to something that will lighten the load a little bit today. I want to talk about a distraction, and what today's favorite distraction is the Dodo. Now, I want to put people up. Okay, exactly. I know you got a lot of dogs. They barking and show you. The Dodo, y'all. If you are having a bad day, you need to watch the Dodo videos.
Have a puppy. Take 5 minutes out to watch puppies.
Take 5 minutes out to watch your rambunctious cat. So I just want to put people on. This one that I saw yesterday made me cry.
It will make me cry. Don't tell me.
It made me cry. It made me cry. This is about Chester and Scotty. I want y'all to understand. I'm going to give you some background here. This is important to understand about the struggle of Chester and Scotty. So Scotty and Chesty are bonder dogs. They were found, they're strays. They had a hard time trusting people again. I skipped over the Scotty part. Chester took a long time to come into the fray. I want y'all to see how Chester was embraced, because it made me cry. We're going to get to Chester right now.
Chester was a little bit more of a tougher sell. He saw us, working with Scotty. He saw us touching Scotty, and he didn't care. He was like, I don't want any part of that. It took a while. I mean, it was a lot of trial and error. Once we were hand feeding them, we'd start scratching them under the chin a little bit as they were eating food out of our hands to see how they would react to that. He would tolerate us handling him. He would be okay with me picking him up, but he really didn't like it. It was 288 days I counted. I just reached out and I went to scratch him, and I kind of stopped, and then he pawed at me and asked for more pets. That was pretty incredible.
Oh my God.
Chester. Oh God, the hand. The paw on the hand.
I'm touching this. This is a miracle. That happened, and then I kind of started working with him more, and that was kind of our turning
point. That's my dogs. I always say are like half of my healthcare, and they're gonna get yelled at right now. Yeah, healthcare. That's me. That's part of my.
I will go to the Dodo and just watch a dog who has mange get transformed.
You know that I foster too, right? I foster dogs.
But some of those foster videos, I'll be like, wait a minute, this is too well done. Why your camera's so high grade? You ain't using a camera phone. Did you know that you was gonna be on the Dodo if you did this? Wait a minute. Some of that, I'm kind of like, this a little too like nice. And actually the publisher of the Dodo follows me on Twitter. So
Humble brag.
I don't want to brag about it. I just, like
Dodo asked me what I thought. I said, oh, that's awesome. Okay, that made me smile. Thank you.
Yeah, like we need this. So Megan, it's like 8 o'clock. Guys, you're already in the past. I'll tell you right now, 9:47 ain't no different. So I know it's 8:47 over there.
Is it lunchtime yet? What the fuck?
Well, I mean, like the only thing that's different is that like we knew about the earthquake earlier than you did in California.
I just found out about that.
Yeah, there's an earthquake that happened. But my thing is like,
How big?
Just Cali, it's earthquake time. Thank you for your energy and your time and being a white woman that's telling other white women like, no, that's not it.
My nana always calls me.
That's not it. That's not it. Thank you for not being the white woman that hits up black people to ask them, are they okay? Or could they send you some money when death is being publicized?
Oh, I'm sure I did that. I checked on all my friends. I just didn't want to be a dick about it,
Yeah. But some people are like, can I see some food? I'm like, I'm not hungry. But yeah.
It's the voice. Like, are you okay?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it. And I like food. You know what I'm saying?
It's how it treats me on Mother's Day. Does this day hard for you?
Does this day hard for you?
Choices.
I love you. Be safe. I can't wait to have this conversation again. If you know anybody in Girls' Day that wants to put themselves out there and let me understand their whiteness, let me know.
I know a million girls who would do that for you.
Yeah, because literally I'm gonna create a segment where I'm like, yo, I gotta ask a white person, and that's just gonna be the segment.
It could be Ask a White Lady, except not funny at all.
Yeah, funny at all. It's gonna be like, so why your white ass crazy? What's wrong with you?
So excited to be on here. I'm gonna put it on my LinkedIn right now.
Thank you so much. I love you. I love your dogs. Watch the Dodo.
Love you. Bye,
love you. Yes, I'm so glad y'all stuck around for this conversation. You can donate to me. Why would you donate to me? Because this is expensive. Now, I know you're like, it's like not expensive. I'm on StreamYard. No, life is expensive. Okay? There are some people in this chat that I'm definitely going to ask to join me next week. Jay Van Sharp, Tracy Cooper, Alyssa Sirianni. You're going to be my next Ask a White Woman Thursdays. I'm getting all the way up to, definitely asking some white men because I have to do that. But y'all, I want to make a book recommendation and then I want to close out. I strongly suggest reading Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. This book is amazing. Like, seriously, this is a really good book. It talks about pretty much the power of science, body, and mind, and what it takes to like transfer your biology to do healing. And this has been a book that I've become really, really familiar with, just given my my Crohn's, but I need to like do better and be better and live better. It's one of the main reasons why I am so proud to work for a cannabis company, to have a cannabis company that I'm part of, to have a company that I brought my homegirls into. Like, it's rewarding, but there's a lot of healing that needs to happen for a lot of us. And there are a lot of medical issues that people suffer with in silence that they don't work on. So, please like check this out. Like, this is a really, really, really good book. It talks about heart coherence and brain coherence. It talks about changing of energy, transmuting energy. Like, this is an amazing book. So again, Becoming Supernatural, Joe Dispenza, great book. Really, 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 really good. And now, in closing, support your friends. Watch Chloe Across America tonight at 10 p.m. We are also looking for an intern that wants to learn about streaming, production, and marketing. We are also looking for someone that wants to be a part of PR. And I want to give a shout out to Elena Cohn, who is interested in trying to work with us. But we are building a network so that we have real conversations led by people that understand that this is needed. We're not manicuring it. We're not making it pretty. We are not trying to do this so that we just get a bunch of likes and become popular. It's because we need it. And a lot of these current media services and platforms may not serve us in the way that we need. I don't know the last time I had a conversation with a white woman about the issues in advertising at all. So I really just want to like clarify how to get that done, how to get that solid, and always try to create and talk about things that are not being covered. I'm also preparing, hopefully, to have a makeup artist giving her take on things we can do in terms of looking like really amazing, but you got to wear a mask, and also looking really cute because you want to be online for the Zoom call, but the Zoom call, you like hate it. So if you look cute, that way you'll get like compliments. We're working it out all now. But yes, tomorrow I am definitely taking off. We're going to have a couple of really exciting conversations next week. Y'all, we have to get our shit together. So like we are in an economic downturn. We are in depression. Please, please take this seriously. I don't need you to send me any no-teppy conspiracy theories. I'm a very well-read person. I am very aware of all the different systems of conspiracies that have happened that have affected the lives of human beings, namely Black and brown people. My grandfather was a subject in the Tuskegee experiment. And also, I'm not trying to get the first or second run of this vaccine that comes out. Because what? I'm woke. So please understand, you're not going to someone who is aware of these items, right? But we have to be more prepared. We have to be more honest about the status of where we are in this nation. And, you know, it's 96 days of the election. Who knows what's going to happen? But I do know that while I'm able to do this, I will do what I can to try to be supportive and share these things. And I really appreciate all of you supporting me. You can watch the show on YouTube and subscribe. You can also watch it on Facebook. You can watch it on Twitter. I'm going to upload this episode to Instagram. Tell your friends. Donations are welcomed. I love Venmo. I missed a workout session today for this. And y'all know I love my workouts. I had to pay my trainer $40, which was totally fine because I messed up on my timing. But health and wellness are very important for all of us. And I hope that you find ways to do this for yourself too. Thank you. You are loved. And may abundance be in your life. And may you manifest what you need to get through these times. Stay well, everybody.